Hello, and welcome to What's on My Mind. Game mode that a series that I'm starting now that'll also be me about talking about things that have nothing to do with the game I'm currently playing. Like, for example, I have Get Good, which is my main For Honor, which is where I'm going to be talking about mechanics, whatnot, what all this stuff is. I have my 2 World of Tanks ones right now. Might be starting another one soon. This is just going to be a general life one. It's just me going to be talking about what's going on in my life. I picked For Honor mostly just because it doesn't require a lot of thought on my part while I'm doing this. Like, not a lot of conscious thought. This map even less. But, oh, I've actually never been. Alright, cool.
Stay focused. Shield strong. Swords ready. Attack!
That's the attacking samurai one, I guess. Still need to hear the defending samurai one, but well, there's no guarantee you'll be in a specific spot on this map. Anyway, this is just going to be a series where I talk about things that are on my mind, and well, just see how things are doing. It won't be directly related to the game I'm playing more often than not. Alright.
You lost Zone C.
Thanks.
You captured Zone A.
So yeah, planning on doing a couple new series, seeing how some other ones work, like if people are interested. I know I'm planning on doing an idea that was inspired by actually one of the streamers I watch. He does streams, he calls them Really I'm Not Drunk streams, or Ryan streams, where basically for him it's after an intense workout. He does a stream of a game that
you captured Zone C.
Sometimes it's a game he's played a lot, sometimes it's a game he doesn't touch that often. Same general idea. I'd be doing it as sort of a WTF is this stream, because I'm thinking of doing JRPGs with it, and while I don't do large, heavy workouts, I do work the night shift, so it might turn into a stream, might turn into general videos. Let me know if you guys have a preference in the comments, but yeah, that's going to be a thing. I'll probably be playing JRPGs and plan to just add the extra twist while I'm running on too much caffeine and not enough sleep of picking games I've never played before for added comedic effect, mostly. Yes, I know, I'm watching.
You lost Zone C.
Got him. Oh, thank you. That was that. And, yeah. Imagine, because I'm not quite as exhausted he is, I would just be running on fumes and too much caffeine. But it's actually not that different from normal for me, so. That dodge is impressive. There we go. Anyway, yeah. That's that. And some other things I've realized about myself over the years will probably end up here. For one, at least for now, I've realized that I'm
Zone C.
actually anti-dreamer. That's something that's been contentious lately with the new president and his stance on the border, but, well, it is what it is. And my reasons for that are simple. Like, I stopped, I thought about it, and I realized something. I never want anyone to be able to say with absolute certainty that breaking the law was the best decision they've ever made. And that is something that almost every dreamer can already say, and if they stay here, will be able to maintain that breaking the law and coming to the US illegally was the best decision they've ever made. And I have an issue with that. And yes, I'm aware that in order to fix that, and I do actually have to use quotations there, that actually involves destroying their lives. Like, that's just the reality of the situation. While that might be morally gray, that's where I stand. Like, that's the thing, is the concept of I don't want anyone to be able to say breaking the law was the best idea they've ever made seems like a no-brainer. When you just look at that concept, yeah, because the law is in place to protect people at the end of the day. And to ensure fairness. Police brutality, more on that later. But, that's not an inherent feature in the laws. Immigration laws are also in place for a reason, whether people choose to acknowledge that or not. And, well, the law is the law as far as I'm concerned. That's basically where I stand on it.
Enemy team is breaking.
The law is bad. The law should be changed. It does not mean it's okay to break the law. Again, some would say that's me oversimplifying the situation. Some would say that I'm not giving the issue the due weight, the extenuating circumstances of the issue, things like that. I stand by my stance. I deal in absolutes whenever possible. I have a deep distaste for ambiguity. And in this instance, that means standing by. I never want someone to be able to say breaking the law was the best decision I've ever made. And
you captured Zone C.
Really, the long and short of it is I'm not okay with it. And in some instances, the only way to enforce that is to destroy people's lives. That's honestly what punishment in the current criminal justice system is intended to do. It's not intended to be fair on criminals. Because seriously, criminals have a ridiculously hard job getting legitimate employment or anything else afterwards, because employers are less likely to hire them, seeing that they have a criminal record. If they're the only person that's applying for the job, then yeah, they have a good shot. But if there are better candidates out there, in this case, sometimes better literally just means having a clean, legal slate, even if their work experience or something else isn't necessarily as good, a company will go there, which makes it very hard for, I wouldn't even say habitual, just previous offenders to get legitimate employment again. It's very difficult. And some would say, and this does, I'm not saying it doesn't, because it does force a certain degree of recidivism or going right back to committing crimes. Some people have issues, like some people say that, like, well, if we create a different system, it's a tricky balancing act that I'm not going to pretend I know the correct one to, because if you make the punishments too light, you get the issues the CEOs have right now. They could just laugh it off, deal with it, and just keep on keeping on, because the benefits they're getting from committing the crimes far outweigh the penalties they have to pay for if they get caught, and if somehow the system can make those charges stick, which is hard here in its own right, but that's another issue entirely again.
You lost.
Pretty far afield with these, anyway. But yeah, make them too heavy, you completely destroy lives. I'm not going to pretend I know where the balance
You
is.
captured Zone B.
And so if I have to choose which direction I would rather the system go in, I would rather go in the overtly harsh. Which, yes, I suppose means ironic, well, some would say distressingly enough. I don't look at it that way, of course, but
You captured Zone A.
that's my biggest issue with police brutality is that it's not happening to white people. Which is an odd way to say that, too, but it unfortunately holds up. That is actually my biggest issue with police brutality, is that it shouldn't be racially motivated. Other than that, I have very little problem with it.
You lost Zone A. Lost Zone B.
Which, again, I understand how odd that is to hear and how weird that might be to some people, but if it was equally harsh to everyone, I wouldn't have a problem with it at all.
You captured Zone A.
That's the thing. My issue with them, with the current police system, can then be summed up as, my issue isn't that they kill so many people they don't have to, it's that they saved so many white people. Because we hit this question, there's a lot of Western morality that maintains the second chance, which turns into the third, which turns into the fourth, which turns into the fifth. Because there's always that chance. And because if the people who set that up are being perfectly honest, they want as many chances as they need to if the shoe were on the other foot. But this maintained, they'll learn eventually, and so we should keep trying. What if they don't? What if all of the people who are hurt in the meanwhile? What made them less deserving of their own protection, of their own safety? Where this person who received a lesser situation and was, you know, given that second chance, doesn't use it wisely, and then now more people are hurt. This could have been prevented, but we don't, because second chance, or third, or fifth, etc. I'm kind of running around in circles here. I've noticed that. Kind of problematic, but you know. Get to weapon. I don't know. These are just the things I think about. I spend far too much time alone with my thoughts, some would say. They probably wouldn't be wrong, but
You lost Zone
I would
A.
never say that. Yeah, well, I'm fixing it.
You captured Zone A.
So you're not running that way. It's making it harder to save you. And
Enemy
you
team
just killed
is
yourself.
breaking.
Why did you do this? Anyway. Hi, other conch. Oh, really, dude? Alright. If you're gonna give it to me, I'll take
The
it.
enemy rally.
But,
Enemy team is breaking.
yeah. There comes a point where enough is enough. Where the damage that person has done, I believe there is a limit to forgiveness, I guess, is where I'm at.
The enemy rally. You
Maybe I have to
captured
get
Zone
more.
breaking.
Man, this is getting vexing. But yeah, there has to be a point where we all stop and collectively say, enough is enough. Where it's just frustrating to me that we reach that point. Where we have, at this point, white people. Let it never be said that at this point, black people or Mexicans or really any minority are are benefiting from the situation I'm describing here. This is a white majority issue right now. But the issues where we have, hey, this person just shot up this and he was taken in alive by the cops, whereas this black person might have had a gun, so the cop shot him 37 times. It's all nonsense. All of it is ridiculous. I'm not opposed. That's the thing, is the shot a place up and was taken alive actually upsets me more than shot 37 times. Make of that what you will. I would rather see blatantly excessive force than anyone get coddled like that and protected by the system in that regard. I have very little sympathy for criminals, as you might have noticed. And unfortunately, that does translate to just trying to make a better life for themselves however they can. Dreamers, drug addicts, the works. Drug addicts is a bit more complicated, but the TLDR is they need an escape, they found one. Morally, I have no qualms about that. You do whatever you want. Which is why I believe that it should be legalized and taxed the hell out of. But I also stand by the other thing. I don't want breaking the law to be the best decision anyone's ever made. So they have to cope, and the law catches them and destroys their lives. I'm for that too, because that's basically what the law demands at this point in time. If you don't like a law, change it, don't break it. Which is, of course, civil disobedience. Look that up. That is hilarious, by the way. It's the quickest way to get laws changed. Is actually, oh no, it's uncivil obedience. Excuse me. Or, in other words, you have a law you have issues with, follow it, like, to the letter at all times. Even when, actually, especially when it defies common sense. There are actually recorded instances of people doing that, and it is hilarious. Because those laws actually immediately got repealed after the outbreak of uncivil obedience. I've heard it's had less success with things like the Common Core, though, which is a whole nother issue, but... Need the Common Core? Write out all your checks in the new math style, which no one knows how to do, except the Common Core people. Question mark profit. For all the my kid needs help with their homework, but I can't help them because I can't do this stupid new math. I've heard that a lot actually, which is alarming. Because some of the stories are literally of people with heavy math backgrounds saying, yeah, I don't know how to do this.
You lost Zone C.
The world's a fucked up place. And there are no easy answers to anything. Nice try. Nope. But yeah.
captured Zone C.
Yeah, I'll be back. This map is frustrating because it is a lot of back and forth.
You captured Zone A. Driving the enemy back.
It is what it is, you know. But that's where we go. You know. But, yeah. I don't know, I kind of ran out of steam with my thoughts there. I haven't had a decent, solid block of sleep in many months, can you tell? Well, I can't say it's many months, it's been many weeks then. That I can say.
Ad mortem inimicus!
At the end of the day, dealing with the shit I've dealt with. I don't know. We live in a world where class and race are huge issues.
You lost Zone
And the best... Oh, wow. And I didn't die there. Probably should have, though.
You lost Zone C.
When in doubt, pancake flip. But, no. Live in a world where we create policies to deal with problems that actually are problematic for dealing with the underlying causes of those problems. That's the thing. Affirmative action, for
You
example,
captured Zone A.
is an inherently racist policy. Is it necessary? Absolutely. Is that a bad thing? Is it a bad thing that it is racist? No, because it's meant to deal with underlying social norm racism and act as a counter/buffer to that. Affirmative action is a set of governor policies for
You
people who
captured
aren't
Zone
versed
C.
in
You lost
American law
Zone A.
that are basically saying, basically give incentives for companies to maintain a diverse workplace by certain quotas being eligible for, I believe it's certain tax breaks. I'm not 100% on the specifics, but it's basically meant to stop companies from trying to create good old boy clubs. And is that necessary? Yes. I am not saying it isn't. It very much is.
Enemy team is breaking.
Whoop. Again, the only place, and the problem is, and the reason it has to be a federal issue, is the areas it's most needed are the areas that'll try to undo it. You know what I'm talking about, even if you wish you didn't.
You
For
lost
example,
Zone C.
Alabama and Oklahoma recently tried to get it repealed on the grounds that it was quote-unquote no longer necessary. Didn't go well, thank God. But yeah.
You captured Zone C. The enemy rally.
Deal with it.
You lost Zone C.
policy. Work, if I do say so myself. It's fucking nuts. Try me. Nope. Not gonna try me? Okay. I'm not gonna let you run. But yeah. So it needs to be a federal policy. It is inherently racist, and that's a good thing. But the point of it was to basically, it's a racist policy set to counter racism until it's no longer an issue. By basically the goal, the long-term goal here, using the term goal here a bit loose. The long-term goal is it's a policy. It's only supposed to be in place until race is no longer an issue. Until race is where it should be, not an important part of the hiring process. And well, how do we do that? By making race the most important part. Like, it's literally what the affirmative action does. There's also an issue with the million gender classifications we have now too, but that's gonna be an episode for another day of where I voice my issues with that. I feel like I've voiced enough controversial points for one episode, and this episode's already trailing along, so I guess I'm gonna cut it here. And yeah, let me know what you guys thought. I'll see you guys next time. Bye bye.